Hello, hello, and welcome back. We are just a week away from the launch of Dragon Age the Veilguard, and we have two factions left to build houses for, the Veil Jumpers and the Morn Watch. This week we will be doing the Veil Jumpers, and next week, in honor of Halloween, we will be doing the Morn Watch. I'm going to release that video on the 30th, the day before the game launches, so that it's not competing with that. And then on Halloween day, we will all be playing Veilguard, and my next video after that will be first impressions of the game, and going through character creator and things like that. So without further ado, let's get into the build. The Veil Jumpers are explorers of ancient elven ruins. Although founded by elves, they welcome anyone brave enough to face Arlathan Forest's reality warping magic. Veil Jumpers are an alliance of interested parties that have been trying to figure out what's causing the strange anomalies occurring in Arlathan Forest, and ultimately seek to restore order to the forest. Due to the nature of their work, the Veil Jumpers are one of the foremost experts on ancient elven artifacts and magic. So for today's build, I'm thinking we're going in the direction of a kind of like campsite situation, but I almost want to try to make an elven ruins area with the camp inside of that. I feel like that would be kind of interesting. I've never tried to make like any kind of structure surrounded by landscaping, like maneuvering the ground around the house. So we'll see if that's possible today, and then go from there. So I think what I want to start with are like the walls of maybe a possible like elven ruin situation. I want this to have a kind of like built-in feel to it, like it's been overgrown and has been here for a while. I want to see if I can make the terrain kind of come up around. Oh, I can. Okay. But we need to keep things on the ground is the problem. I want these stairs to look like they're part of the ruins. As far as like pathing in this area, there was this really cool flooring that I discovered in the last build that also has like a terrain paint version. Problem is, the terrain paint only comes in one color, which is this pink one, which I don't hate, but like I was hoping, because if you look at the floor version, it comes in so many more colors, like this autumnal like orange color, or just like your straight up green one. So I guess I could just do pink just to make it work with the build, and then just do like orange foliage and stuff to tie in the autumnal. So that'll be kind of like our center area. Maybe that's where all their workstations are. We also need to worry about the actual houses. Problem here is that I did medium wall height. That's a pretty tall building to try to cover up with terrain, if I even can. Yeah, it doesn't let me get very close. Could do an entirely outside build, but I don't know like what the tent situation in this game is. Okay, so we've got some tents. They come in a few different colors. Okay. Don't know if they still function if you make them big, but we'll see. Okay, that could be cool. So you come in through here. You can get all around this area on the ground level. This is going to be a simpler build than the others, simply because everything is outside. I'm not really building any like structure. So I think for this one, I'm going to go heavy on the decor and the clutter to kind of offset the fact that there's a lot less going on here. Like they've excavated stuff, they're studying it. It'll have a lot of that kind of stuff. I want it to have the appearance that they're just like slowly excavating these towers back here. Don't worry, I'm gonna smooth out all these pointy bits. I want this to look more like it's surrounded by like rocky terrain. The grass top parts of a lot of these pieces make that look less intense than I want it to. So I feel like I'm gonna try to paint them to be more rocky, just on like the raised parts to give that effect better. Oh, well there it is. For future reference, the Cliffs of Rover is an exact match for what the terrain looks like when you lift it. Just gonna go through and paint all of it. And then I think in these parts where like the excavation has happened, I'm gonna be have more like dirt so that it looks like they've been digging things up. This is going to be the obligatory at least once per video reminder to outline your terrain. I'm using this pink one to kind of be where they've cleared out the paths for them to get to everything, and I might line that path, and then everything else will just be kind of dirt, as if like they just haven't cleaned off all this pathing yet. And I'm kind of layering this dirty rocky one with like some overgrown grass to give it that overgrown effect. I'm going in with this one first and then going back over it with grass. Don't want to remove all the green from the build. So from what I've seen of the Arlathan Forest, it is a lot of orange autumnal colors. These trees are rather large, so I don't want to do too many of them. I feel like they would have found a clearing to build their camp in. There wouldn't be too many trees around, but just to get us started. And then I kind of want to line these paths with some stone. I want to kind of wall in this central area to give it more oomph. I'm aware that these stairs probably aren't functional because they're set pieces and not real stairs, but they can go around. So this center area is kind of like their staging area, mainly for storage and just gathering. So this might also be where I put some kind of like campfire situation. I don't even know. I wish this game had some kind of like campfire where you could actually cook. Oh my god. I think I spoke too soon. This looks like it's functional. I am very excited. Apparently the seats can snap to it. I feel like in some places they would have constructed their own fences. So I'm gonna scatter some around. The goal is to keep this pink path within the bounds of the rocks and things to give more of a defined, this is where it's safe to walk situation. I want to build some kind of like scaffolding up to this wall, like they've been trying to like safely get over to it. Now, this is not going to be something the Sims can actually walk on, it's more for aesthetics. This will be kind of like if someone were over here brushing away at the dirt to try to see what these paintings are for. We're just going to pretend that since I made these tents bigger, that more than one person can fit in each tent. I don't really have space to add more tents. I feel like these two tents are where they would be going through all the artifacts and seeing what's what and like examining everything up close. It's clutter time! If I were an ancient elven artifact, where would I be? Is this giving Dreadwolf? I'd say that's giving Dreadwolf. This is actually probably giving more Dreadwolf though. I have this in case I need to clean any of the artifacts. Again with these Batu bottles. I feel like I've had one in almost every build. Everybody always says, I just don't like that none of the stuff in the Star Wars pack goes with anything else in the game. They didn't keep life sim in mind. Well, clearly you've never built a house for the Veil Jumpers in Dragon Age the Veilguard, because I'm finding plenty of uses for the Batu stuff. Thank you. I feel like this is almost entirely Batu stuff. Mystery Chalice from the Grey Wardens episode, if anyone watched that. It's not an artifact build without holocrons. The shelf is back, so I can put some things in this bowl. I'm officially running out of clutter. Elephant teapot or no elephant teapot? Do we think the ancient elves used an elephant teapot? I feel like we need some foliage. Alright, and there you have it. A home for the Veil Jumpers. They are living within an elven ruin that they are excavating, searching for artifacts and learning things about their ancient culture. You enter through these twin pillars and make your way into the center area that has got some pots scattered around for future processing, and then you've got your central fire pit that leads directly to the main excavation of this large wall back here. You've got a little workstation with some crates. If you come back this way, you go down into the living area where there are some very large tents that can house multiple Veil Jumpers. And then you come across this way to the processing area where all the artifacts are being stored and studied to learn more about them. And that is about it for this build. I wanted it to be much more exterior than the other builds since they tend to spend time in camps most of the time. So that is what we have here. I hope you enjoyed this build, and don't miss next week, which will be the last installment of this series. We're doing Mornwatch the day before Halloween, and after that I will be doing my first impressions and first playthrough video of Dragon Age the Veilguard. So if you're interested in that, stick around and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.